as of right now, we're in testing on a few things.
Okay.
So one of the things, we are actually doing some direct injection fueling component testing. So we should, in the next week or two, have some data for that. Let's just put it this way. What we have coming out is going to put shame to what's currently on the market.
Okay.
So it is meant for higher horsepower builds, and is something that we've been working closely with one of the originators for the DI market for the VR30, which, you know, helped design some of what's currently out on the market now.
Okay.
So we're working with them to basically bring out something bigger and better, to really kind of put a whoop into what's on the market and give people the ability to not be fuel limited, which kind of brings me to the point of our fuel port injection. So one of the things that we had talked about doing last year was fuel port injection. Right now, we've put that project on hold while we test out these products. And this kind of goes into some of the things that we'll talk about later when we're talking about building race engines or building, you know, big power cars and systems. You want to simplify your systems as much as possible. And, you know, one of the things that we want to do is we want to exhaust every option on the DI side of the house before having to jump into the direct port injection. The main reason for that is once you start adding in extra fueling components, such as the port injection, similar to like our meth injection, you have to add an additional controller. That's one additional thing that you have to keep track of. That's one area where your ECU is not directly controlling that. And so at that point, you know, that becomes a little bit of a gray area, and there's opportunities for people to make mistakes and to cause harm to their builds. And so we don't want to necessarily jump right out into that and put that out into the community. We want to make sure that, one, we've exhausted every option. You have all had the ability to say, all right, we've done everything you can do for DI. And it also allows us to know how far we can take DI. If it comes out to saying, hey, you know, through our testing, really there's a limitation and we can't really get that extra umph that we need, then at that point we'll be like, all right, you know, maybe we can just lean on the port injection side and not really push so hard on the DI side. So that's something that we're kind of looking into and making sure that we're good. But we have full faith in what we're doing right now on the DI side. It's so promising that we really think we don't necessarily will have to go to the port injection, and it'll really be limited to those that are on the 1 percentile, going 4-digit numbers and above.
So do you think it will be comparable to the AMS and/or some people in the market actually use Dutchworks EcoBoost injectors too?
Let's put it this way: we're the only ones with the correct spray pattern, similar to the factory spray pattern, and we have more capacity.
Okay, compared to
significantly more capacity.
Will this be at an added cost compared to the AMS unit and the Dutchworks?
It'll be similarly priced. It'll be appropriately priced. Right now, the MSRP for similar ones for other platforms is around $19.99. I know that's a steep buy, but when we get the data from this, if it follows exactly how we're expecting, it'll be well worth its weight in gold.
So this would be pretty much a requirement if you are using it on pure turbos or on fully 85 and/or RT turbos. Maxed out?
We're testing it on a car that is going to literally try to break pure turbos. I'm not being literal on that. The guy's trying to push pure turbo stage 2s to their absolute limit and see where that ceiling is. You know, right now we've got a guy, I think Racebox, Hussein did 704 wheel horsepower. We're looking to break 800 hopefully.
Jesus. And this is on pures?
This will be on pure stage 2s.
Okay.
This will be most likely running ethanol with our methanol kits, as well as our injectors. And we'll be looking at, our built block. So one of our race blocks, a built transmission. So basically removing all the areas of where things could break. We're trying to remove all those so that we can actually see how far we can take.
So we want the weak spot to be the turbos.
Exactly.
Like, all right, just put some bigger ones on it. So, and we could kind of move into the turbo kit now. Because are there any other parts you want to talk about?
Yeah. So a lot of people saw our new inventory for 2021 group buy that we did. So there's some things that we put on there that we haven't released yet. So one is our triple pass heat exchanger. That's coming soon. So we've been going through some fitment stuff. You know, one of the things that most people don't realize when they get that AMS heat exchanger, it's so big that it's very hard to install. For the average Joe to install, it's very hard. We're making one similar size. So we're trying to find ways to try to either get the size just right so it's not so hard to install. And in fact, I do have a model of that. It is also triple pass.
So this will be a triple pass heat exchanger. So pretty much, guys, once you get, go ahead.
Yeah, this is not, I know there's several other products out there that are insanely cost effective that do a great job. What we're looking for is to pair this with our intercoolers, and you will never have to worry about any kind of coolant charge temps. This is really going to be kind of like the top tier. What you're looking at is like, if you want something that's quality, we're going to do billet end caps. No one out there has billet end caps, so all of our heat exchangers will have billet end caps on them. They'll have proper mounting. It'll be triple pass, like I said. It'll be a high efficiency core. One of the things that people don't realize is that when they go to some of these bigger heat exchangers, you lose airflow to your radiator. So it causes coolant issues with other systems. So for instance, your radiator and that cooling system for the engine, that also takes a hit when you start throwing things in front of it. So we're trying to get a, we work with Bell intercoolers, and we're working with them on a design for a core that's going to flow well, but also give the performance that we need.
So I just want to throw this out there for anyone's watching. In an old video, I have stated I like the AMS unit, but it blocks the radiator. So it's probably not getting the most amount of flow to the radiator. And everyone dragged me. So I got somebody that's in the field who pretty much sat there and said the same thing I said. Thank you.
And so you'll see that in the design, we're going to keep the factory ports. We're actually going to do 10 ORB on all of our ports, so that if you want to run push lock, if you want to run like a factory barb fitting, you can. So we're going to really make this modular. If you want to run AN fittings, you can run AN fittings. Cool. So we're trying to make this as clean as possible.
That's so cool.
So yeah, and then we're also adding braces to the top and the bottom of it to help protect that core. So the core will be completely encapsulated and protected.
That's actually cool. So once again, for everybody, before we move on to the next part, it's going to be triple pass. All the heat exchanger units on the market, only one pass. So it comes from one end to the other end, and that's it. That's the only cooling you're getting. But in his case, it's going 1, 2, 3, which means you get the maximum amount of cooling. Once again, if you bring down that coolant temperature, you get as cool as possible. You run more time, you get more power, and it's more consistent power, which means less heat soaking on those 80, 90-degree days. All right, guys? Cool.
Yeah. So our main thing is to make sure that if you make 400, 500, 600 horsepower, that you are consistently making that on every single pass. And the amount of cool down time needed between passes means it's much shorter and shorter and shorter. Nice. We ran our intercooler on a stock system. Our test bed intercooler on upgraded turbos, push and boost on a hot day, and we were running less than ambient temperature on IATs. So, you know, with this, I think we'll be in a very, very good position.
I love it. I love it. So what other stuff you want to tell me about?
Let's see here. Back to it. We have our fuel rails. So that was one thing that a lot of people are super excited about, is the fuel rails. Right now, we're still in the development phase of this. We're trying to go through materials to make sure that, one, we can keep the costs respectively down, because that is something that if we go to a stainless steel and do all the milling work in stainless steel, because what we're doing for our rails is 5-axis work. And if people don't understand, there's a price tier when you go from 3-axis to 5-axis, and the amount of time to do it costs significantly more. So you go from under $100 an hour to almost over $200 an hour. So doing that type of work, depending on where you get that work done. So we're trying to get that cost down so that we can actually produce these that are respectively not super expensive, but are going to be a quality product. So we're looking at different aluminums to see if they'll be able to withstand the pressures and withstand, it will be machinable and done in a timely manner. So
what would be, for people watching, what would be the benefit of going with aftermarket fuel rails for people who would want to know?
So based off of the findings of different people, including AMS, that there seems to be a breakdown of the coating inside the steel fuel rails inside of the or in the fuel system, and that is causing microparticles to actually impact the injectors and cause them to either stay pin shut or pinned open. In that case, people have had blown motors. Right now, Nissan has old stock and new stock. The part numbers for the new ones are the same as the old ones. So even if you do go in for warranty work, as of right now from the Infiniti techs that we have talked to, you don't know whether you're getting new stock or old stock. So you can literally take it in right now, get it replaced, get old stock rails put on it under a warranty replacement, and have the problem within 30,000 miles or 1,500 miles. You know, again, so what we want to do is we want to remove that potential. Right now, we won't know until we get till there's 30,000+ miles on it to see if it actually is what is the culprit. 100%, but based off other people's findings and the fact that, you know, even with a 10 micron filter added before the rails, they're still getting clogs. You wouldn't get clogs with a 10 micron filter if it was coming from any other part of the fuel system. So we're pretty sure that it's coming from the rails.
I believe 10 micron is, what is it, like a fifth of a hair, the size of a hair. So think about your hair. I think a hair is what, 40 or 50 microns. Yeah. It's 20% of that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. So we're working with someone on a fuel, their own branded fuel filter kit. So we have some designs for that. It's going to be very nice. If we can get what we want to do, we're looking at some extruded heater or heat dissipation brackets. So basically, and encapsulate the fuel filter holder will actually be extruded with a heat sink.
Nice. I love that.
So see if they want to go that route. So, but right now we've already got a design for them. We're going to be looking to go into production for them here in the next couple weeks.
Thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also on top of that, if you want to purchase some boostinmotion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.